Greetings, new player! Congratulations! After taking a much-needed break from your strenuous regimen of 720 no-scopes, you've noticed Team Fortress 2 in Steam's free-to-play section, and decided to hop in to the wonderful world of the Badlands. As you have assuredly seen after loading up the game and joining a server, this game has 9 distinct character classes to choose from. Considering the screen is over 10 years old, and has had no modernization whatsoever except to make Scout's face look 10 times creepier than before, you're probably having an overwhelming experience deciding on a character class to play as. Do you pick him? Or him? Or this smelly French guy? Well, do everyone a favor and disconnect from that server right now. And now, promptly tune yourself to this video. Good! Now that you're here, I will attempt to assist you in choosing a character class to play as. Each of these classes is unique in its role to the team, what its abilities are, and how it deals damage, with some being much more intricate than others. Since the personalities of these characters are deep, complex, and fluid, it would stand to reason that they would attract certain types of people to play them. Do you like helping the team and being an all-around solid damage dealer or a heavenly healer? Or do you like being a perforated rectum? Well, this video should help you decide on what class to play. I know this video has probably been done like a million times before, and I'm a plebeian who's probably going to be called a ripoff. Am I really aware of what I'm about to subject myself to? Are you a human catheter? Is everyone at your school afraid you're going to come to class with an AK-47 one day? Then maybe you should consider playing Scout. Before you can queue for casual, hop on a pub, and start cutting everyone on the server with your edge, you need to set your Steam name to something intimidating, deep, and dark. For the sake of this tutorial, we'll assume the name XXX420BlazeIt 69 Blowjob XXX. This is a great name. It's a solid name. Your name is the first thing the other players will see about you, and the second is that your scattergun will be named You Suck Ass Faggot Nick. You need a Lenny bind. Period. To do this, simply open your developer console by hitting the tilde button, then type bind
name and address withheld.
This. Nothing gets a server laughing uproariously like stale meat. Making sure you look the part is definitely necessary. You're going to want to wear a batter's helmet and a line-painted fast learner. Do you know what this outfit says about you? Do you have a schadenfreude taunt? You better get one. You can't be a scout unless you use the schadenfreude taunt after every kill you get. You find the pain and suffering of others funny, and thusly need to fill the player you just killed screen with a freeze cam of you pointing and laughing at how pathetic they are compared to you. As a scout, for your primary weapon, you have a choice of scatterguns, which are shotguns. They're shotguns. You have a choice of the stock scattergun, a great tool for dealing high burst damage at close range, one that makes you jump a lot, one that makes you run really fast, the one that angers and annoys, and the family outcast that no one cares about. You're going to want to use your primary weapon to pulverize opponents at close range while jumping around like an irritating flea. For a secondary weapon, you can either have another damage output, semen in a jar, or your choice of Yahoo soda or kelp milk. In your melee slot, you're going to either have an aluminum baseball bat, a wooden baseball bat that launches balls of coagulated salt at enemies, a delicious treat, a home defensive device, a useless pile of horse shit, fish wrapped in a newspaper, a winged metal instrument, another jump-a-lot thingy, or another ball of salt coated with soothing glass. After you've MGE'd every kid in the server, say nothing personnel in chat, and then spam Lenny's until the server changes map. Alright. Now I know what you're thinking. Okay, soldier. This guy's got a big-ass rocket launcher and a shotgun. I should just be able to hop right into this shit. You can't pick soldier without first going onto a trade server, or backpack TF singles area, and finding yourself a medic girlfriend. You can't play soldier without a pocket medic penetrating you with her medigun. The medigun better be locked on you at all times. If she stops healing you for even 1/8 of a second, you better have your belt start clearing belt loops immediately. Soldiers' primary weapons do a great deal of splash damage, except the one, and are great in a very wide variety of combat situations, making the soldier one of the most generalistic of the generalist classes available. Basically what I'm saying is, soldiers are basic bitches.
This just in, an angry mob is formed outside the studio!
His secondary weapon can either be the good old stock shotgun, the anger-generating reserve shooter, a variety of musical instruments, boots on the ground, the 101st Airborne, and the greatest weapon in the entire game. Your choice of secondary weapon is going to come down to whether you either want to deal more damage, be a helpful source of oomph for your team, or be a selfish cunt and camp like a little bitch. Your melee weapon can be a selection of World War II museum pieces, one for beating people, one you only use for the taunt kill, one for when you should just play scout, a Japanese meme sword, Starman, Super Mario Bros. OST, and the almighty meme spoon. When playing soldier in a pub, you better make sure that your pocket medic is wearing the same hat you are, so everyone knows that she's your property and they need to unbind their E-keys. If you die, it's because your team members are a bunch of dumbasses and you need to fill the radio waves with warnings of this situation. You need to call them names and pronto. I have a choice for you can use, like retard, cocksucker, fuckbag, bitch tits, weeaboo trash, fucking free-to-plays. Hey, wait, why are you all vote kicking me? Oh, for fuck's sake! Does this get your meat going? Do you want everyone on the server to know that you just got a boner from the last slide? If you answered yes to both questions, congratulations. You're a prime candidate for playing Pyro. After we've taken care of the bestiality lust, we need a good profile name. Something like Sea Vixen Lean Face. Once in the server, make sure everyone there knows you're a drooling fur fag. If they couldn't already tell from your choice to play Pyro, they will as soon as you start talking in chat. Make sure you use the Phlogistinator, the best flamethrower in the game. Nothing will have people welcome you into the community with open arms like
Guaranteed credits.
As the name Pyro would suggest, his primary weapons are an assortment of flamethrowers. They spew fire in a fixed amount in a broken fact. The special ability of the Pyro's primary is the Compression Blast, which you can use to push people around, deny Uber charges, and get
Sick frags.
Secondary weapon for Pyro can be the blessed holy stock shotgun, the thumbtack-sized phallus indicator, or a variety of distress signals. The emergency devices are either the mark of a really good Pyro, or the mark of a Pyro who's complete shit but we're going for some
Epic frag movie clips.
The stock shotgun is the mark of either a nightmare Pyro who will take you behind the barn, bend you over the well and start shellacking your wreck, or the mark of a Pyro who just installed the game 5 minutes ago. But you should be able to tell the difference right away. For a melee weapon, you have Irony, a Run Forest Run Hammer, the Pybro, a federal crime, the saddest story in TF2 melee weapon history, a gardening tool, free candy, whatever the fuck the third degree is, and a Jaws joke. As a Pyro, you're going to be in a very loving, very homoerotic relationship with your team's engineer. Since you counter the smelly croissant man, partnering up with him to take out those French cancers is integral to your success. At the end of the day, when you inevitably top score from this game's broken flame particles, laugh in the face of those who said you had no skill, and once you've done that, it's time to get fapping.
What a furry does. Well, we are furries. Furries are people who...
So you want to play Demo Man? As the legends say, Demo Man takes skill. If you are prepared for shooting spiky testis in the vague direction of your enemies repeatedly and lobbing pipes at people like Pipe Jesus himself, you better sit down and take a breather. Demo Man is the most versatile class in the entire game. He has the largest variety of weapons and playstyles to choose from, and your choice of loadout is going to come down to whether you want to just have some fun or to neutralize some enemy combatants. Demo's primaries are an assortment of grenade launchers, most of which function largely the same with subtle differences between them. His secondary weapons are perfect for farming salt from angry children whose mother's credit card is in fact Save on Steam. Thanks for asking. He can use his secondaries to set up defensive traps, or tank extra damage while screaming like a guy fresh off a 3-day meth bender. For Demo Man's melee weapons, you have a choice of either alcoholic beverages, swords, a golf club, this thing, and a steel handgranate. Do you want to be a source of astronomical damage output and a real powerhouse for your teammates? Or do you want to go on a gnarly frag frenzy? In addition to spamming stickies, you need to spam your E key. The team medic needs to know that your expensive, unusual, and professional killstreak sticky bomb launcher put you first on heal priority. Once you've won the round, and everybody on both teams bails from the games because nobody is having any fun, you need to start congaing inside the enemy spawn. taunting every single player on the other team for their failure to overcome Spam Fortress 2's hit reg and spam equals win strategizing is absolutely necessary. Nobody will know you're better than them at one of the lowest skill ceiling classes otherwise.
Johnny Downpour was run out of town yesterday by an angry mob. Yes! I mean, it's always a shame to lose a valued member of the News 7 family.
I am heavy weapons guy. And this is my weapon. She weighs 150 kilograms and fires $200 custom tool cartridges at 10,000 rounds per minute.
If you want to play heavy, you're going to have to first come to grips with the fact that you may end up in a coma by the end of the game. Each life you play as heavy will be broken down into 3 distinct phases. Shoot giant gun, press A and D a little bit, get headshots from across the map because you're a fat ass. But as a result of the heavy's extra thick status, he is more often than not the beacon that the team rallies around while completing an objective. He has the largest HP pool of all the classes and the highest critical DPS. This is balanced by the fact that the heavy moves super slow. The heavy is arguably the face of TF2. He's the most prominent character on the box for this CD I fucking bought. He's in all of the game's promotional materials, and he had the first ever Meet the Team video made about him. So, why do few people main heavy? Well, my personal opinion, it's just because he's boring. He doesn't have a lot of ways to shake up his gameplay, and the entire premise of his class is just, well, really simplistic to me. I am large man. I have big gun. I shoot big gun at tiny babies and crush them with my bare hands. Don't get me wrong, heavy can definitely be fun to play, but to make that the main thing I would do in the game? In his primary slot, Little Misha has several fucking miniguns, an oversized Thompson SMG, and a Chinese New Year parade float. Heavy's primaries cause the most DPS of any hit-scan primary in the game. This, combined with his large health pool, make him a fearsome sight on the battlefield. However, his slow movement speed and the nature of the way he engages in combat make him an easy target for, well, literally everybody. Trying to take a heavy hit on is suicide, but if you can flank him, he's done. For a secondary weapon, he can either shoot some ski or have a delicious snack. The lunchbox is pretty much the heavy meta, and you really only see new players and fat scouts running the shotguns. To fight in melee combat, Heavy is armed with his bare fists, 2 self-aware beauty marks, steel prosthetics, a pair of gotta go fast or KO boxing gloves, whoever the hell made the warrior spirit thinks it is, and a pair of adorable mittens. Your choice of melee weapon on Heavy is going to come down to whether or not you're taking the game seriously. You're also going to be in a very close relationship with your team's medic. During downtimes in battle, the two of you can make off to some discreet corner and start cornholing. The soft-spoken Texan Machine Builder Boy is a great choice for someone who has absolutely no interest in actually playing the game. Just set up a sentry gun, beat it a bit with a wrench, and let it do all the work for you with a server-side aimbot. Kick back and down some beer while you go on a godlike kill streak while sitting around doing literally nothing. Okay, Engineer actually has a lot more to it than that. NG can either be the most useful player on your team or the most useless. If you're on a payload offense, and your team has just capped 3 points in under 5 minutes without dying and causing 2 team wipes, your team probably doesn't need an engineer, and you could probably pick another class to actually help out the real fight. However, if you are going to Custer's last stand your way on the final control point, your team could definitely benefit from having some automated firepower and an AoE healing thing. In addition to being either the most useful or useless class, the engineer can either also be the most welcome sight on the server, or absolutely infuriating. You can put teleporters that lead off cliffs or being camped, build on last before first is even taken, or run around as the fun police. Engineer's primary weapons are either the almighty sacred god holy stock shotgun, this gimmick boomstick, the rage laser shooter, or
The Metal.
your choice will definitely come down to whether you want to play NG offensively or defensively. In your secondary slot, you can either equip another source of damage, the Delete This, or an N64 controller, the choice of which, again, falls on offense or defense. Your melee weapon is either going to be an oversized pipe wrench, a wrench for getting back to the resupply room, or your own prosthetic hand, which allows you to build little bappies. As an engineer, you actually have a fourth weapon. That's right, Valve has actually ponied up and given you a Game Boy Color limited edition to use in your fourth slot as engineer. The Game Boy builds sentries, dispensers, and teleporters for your team to use, and can be upgraded from levels 1 to 3. The higher level your buildings are, the more HP they have, and the better they are at performing their intended function. Just remember, like I said before, that as an engineer, you're either going to be a huge asset or a gigantic burden to your team. So knowing the right situation to pick him, or the right way to play him, will be absolutely crucial to your success as him. You're also going to have a very kinky time with your team's Pyro, as he is your best defense against those smelly croissants lurking about. Overall, being an engineer is one of the funnest, craziest, and somehow at the same time relaxing times you can have playing the game, and I definitely recommend giving him a go. To play Medic is to subject yourself to continuous verbal harassment while those same people who are constantly shit-talking you want your help. I mean, hopping on a pub where you have a medic is akin to winning the lottery while being struck by lightning, while at the same time Morgan Freeman shoots a hot load on your back. And honestly, when you hop on a team that has 4 snipers and 3 spies, you really can't blame anyone for not wanting to play medic. As a character, the medic is my personal favorite character in TF2. He's a mad scientist who sees healing people as a coincidental side effect of his own psychotic experiments. And that's my spirit animal right there, bud. The medic's primary weapon is a personal defense syringe gun, but let's be real. The only primary weapon the medic has is the crossbow. It's the only one you're going to use, and the only one you are to use, ever. At all. Under any circumstances. Unless you're a battle medic, in which case take a blue saga. Don't worry about this one, we don't talk about it. For a secondary, the medic utilizes a variety of firefighting equipment to shoot mysterious healing juice all over his teammates. Your choice of fire hose is going to come down to your current game state and the overall skill of your team. In your melee slot, you can either bow down to the meta and use the Uber Saw, try out the new Vita Saw, which is actually comparable to the Uber Saw now, wish you were a spy, or use the stock Bone Saw because a Ray 7. Playing as medic can be a very rewarding experience. There's really nothing like popping your Uber charge or watching your demo take out an entire turtle entrenchment in 8 seconds. However, because of this Uber charge ability and your ability to heal teammates, you're going to be the biggest target of the other players on the other team, especially spies and snipers, who derive a sick sexual thrill from making you drop Uber charge. In conclusion, Medic is one of the best things you could possibly choose to play for your team. Just make sure you don't stand still like a dolt, or let the constant beef your entire team will have with you get you down. Are you an edgy middle schooler? Do you think you're better than everyone else? Then look no further. We've found the class for you. Sniper is a great class if you've just logged off of bestgore.com. He's the only class in TF2 that is dedicated to long-range combat, and yet for some reason has one of the best close-range combos there is. Sniper is the main choice of salty little children who like to call people nick. As a sniper, your primary weapon is a sniper rifle. You can also opt to go Robin Hood with it if you like. Sniper's secondary weapons are either a UMP-45, an MP5K silenced, a spy repellent, what used to be a free win in a sniper duel, and a mason jar filled with his own urine. I guess we know what porn Sniper watches. The melee weapons that Sniper uses are a variety of hunting knives. One for chopping through the Vietnam jungle, one for tracking Frenchmen, one no one knows how to say, and one that will make your opponent very angry. As a sniper, it's your job to mic spam Linkin Park and other edgy music. It's not enough that everybody already thinks you're a complete edgelord. You need to prove them right by blasting them the music that helps you feel your true feelings. Sniper gets to operate largely independently from his team, which is great, because it reflects the lone wolf you are IRL. If you're gonna play Sniper, you're also going to want to wear the Anger. Why wear the Anger, you ask? Well, what the Anger says about you is that finally, rounding out the list of characters you can choose to play as, we have the greatest, best, most versatile, and most useful class. No, I'm not biased. I don't know what you're talking about. The spy is the type of character that is the biggest difference between someone who is actually good at him and someone who is fucking terrible. You can have the famous Jose Gonzalez 2005 charging the enemy disguised as scout and trying to butter knife people to death. Or you can have a spy that's slipping past whole teams undetected and is somehow landing stabs left and right despite everyone knowing how spy works. A good spy on the other team can be the biggest obstacle facing your team in the entire game. However, a bad spy on your team can also be the biggest obstacle you've had, since basically you're down a dude, and this guy who is somehow lowering the IQ of your team as a result. The spy has a wide variety of contraptions he can use to turn himself invisible, disguise himself as another player on either team, or even be a complete shithead. If you're gonna play a spy, it's important that you have a waifu picked out beforehand. Once you've picked one, get a body pillow with him on it, and then buy an assortment of katanas, because nobody's ever heard the all spy mans are weeaboos joke before. The spy's main means of killing people is through literally stabbing them in the back with one of his assortment of knives. Each knife, besides the reskins, has its own gimmick attached to it. However, the damage output and function times are all identical across all of the knives. Your revolver is a secondary weapon despite being in your primary slot, since you're mainly going to be stabbing people. You're only really going to be using it when someone discovers you, when you're trying to make a hasty escape, or you think you're a woolen sleevelet and you can hit those sick ambi headshots. The actual weapon in Spy's secondary slot is called the Sapper. Its sole purpose is to destroy the engineer's buildings. Since your only other option is either good for being an annoyance or slowly unraveling the turtle meta, there's not much to cover here. When you aren't stabbing people or ruining a good Texan's hard work, you'll be off shellacking Scout's mother, or binge watching the first 3 volumes of Naruto in one sitting.
Epilogue.
Well, that's about all I can tell you about the game's characters without going balls deep into a lore analysis, which I'm not going to do. Now it's up to you to decide which one to play. Now, boot up the game, get out into casual, and show the world your fancy hat. I know this video has been done, and the idea isn't exactly original, and that I basically just compiled like roughly 10 to 15 minutes worth of memes and stereotypes into a video. But why the fuck did I even make this? This was a waste of SFM game footage and my fucking time!